So once again, grade 9. In today's session, we are speaking about the Greek civilization. In this civilization, we will speak about the location of Greece, as you just said. It's located by the Mediterranean Sea here in the continent of Europe. And as you can see right now, if we just get this, we will find out that here in this area arose the civilization of the early Greece. So, in this place, guys, a lot of people started to inhabit because of the circumstances and the geographical feature of the land that helped them to stay. And as you can see in this area here, they are totally close to that of their neighboring Mesopotamian civilization. And just by crossing the Mediterranean Sea, they are very also close to the Egyptian civilization, and they have access to the rest of the European civilization. Consequently, because of this, we can call the ancient Greece a crossroads civilization. In the first semester, we studied another crossroad civilization. Do you remember it?
Yes. What was it called? Mesopotamia or Summers or
Mesopotamian people,
yeah.
they were also crossroad civilization because all of the states and the civilization that arose here in the Mesopotamian connected most of Asia to Europe and also to Africa. And Greece also are the same because they had access to three continents, Asia, Europe, and also Africa. That's why we would call them crossroad. So the Manoans prosper from trade because they are crossroads, as we just said. Okay, so they connect many continents together. Consequently, they were very excellent in trading because now I have access to three continents. That's a trade. What people here grow to what people here build and what people here invent. So by trading, they were very excellent. So the island of Crete was the cradle of any civilization that later influenced the Greeks living on the European mainlands. The people of Crete, however, had absorbed many ideas from other older civilization, like both of the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian one, because they are trading right now. So, as we said before, ideas from here will change with that of there. From one place to another, they do not just trade merchandise or just goods, yet they trade ideas, culture, and even the religious ideas. Because of this, by trade, they had some ideas from their neighboring civilization, like the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian one, and they started to absorb them. Okay, well, you can read.
Yeah, sure. Which one? A crossroads location.
Okay, of course, no, before it, washed by the war motors. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it starts from here.
Washed by the warm waters of Aegean Sea. Aegean, right? Crete was home to brilliant early civilization and the first European civilization. We do not actually know what the people who built this civilization called themselves. However, the British archaeologist Arthur Evans, who unearthed its ruins in early 1900s, called them minions. How
Not
do
the
I pronounce it?
Minoans.
So Minuans.
Yes.
Minuans after Minos, a legendary king of Crete. Minoan civilization lay buried for more than 2,500 years. Excavations by Evans and later archaeologists revealed much about this early civilization. Today, the Munians, I forgot how to pronounce it. The Menuans. The Menuans are recognized not only for their unique civilization, but also for their contribution to the rise of civilization in Greece, on the nearby mainland of Europe.
So simply, guys, because they are on the Aegean River, the war motor of the Aegean River, okay, or the Aegean Sea. Here in this place, okay. So because now they are looking at or having access to the Aegean Sea, okay, and its war motor, they developed trade with other civilization. They are coastal people, so the first thing that they will excel in is just building some sort of ships in order to move them from one place to another one. So this is Greece, and that's the Aegean Sea. By having the access to that, they could have contact with their neighboring people in Egypt and also in Mesopotamia. And also they were considered to be the first European civilization. So they are the first European civilization. We will speak about being a crossroad, and later on we will speak also about the other features. So they are the first European civilization, and we do not know actually how they built the civilization or what even they called themselves. But we have an archaeologist whose name is Arthur Evans. This man was the first one to unearth or to discover the ruins of them in the 1900s. So we call them Menuans after Minos, one of their legendary king of Crete. Crete is the ancient Greece. Okay, so they have already contributed to the rise of the civilization in Greece and also the nearby mainland of Europe, because the other people in Europe started to be affected. First, Greece started here to be affected by the Egyptian and Mesopotamian civilization, and later on they started to inspire the rest of the people. What about a crossroad? A crossroad civilization. So, Yusuf?
Yes.
A crossroad location. We said that we call them a crossroad location because they have access to three continents, Europe, Egypt, and also Asia. And they had trade with their neighboring civilization. So we call them also a crossroad like the Mesopotamian ones. So, can you read, please?
Yes, but I have a question. By their neighboring, you mean Egypt?
Yeah, Egypt and Mesopotamia. We are speaking about ancient Greece, not today's Greece. Ancient Greece. There were no people actually living in that place. All of this place was nothing. Let's have this line. Okay, I need you now to imagine. Okay, we are speaking about the beginning of the civilization in this place here. Okay, about the Greece civilization. By that time, like 25,000 years ago, there were no people living here in that place. Yet, there was a civilization that arose around the river Nile in Egypt, and also another one in Hippalian civilization. Okay, and we had the Indus and the Chinese ones, as we have studied. But that time, 2,500 years ago, no one lived in the rest of Europe, but nomad people. The early civilization that started to arise in Europe was the Greek civilization, here in that place. And this civilization was affected by both the civilization of the Egyptian and the Mesopotamian ones, because they were affected by this civilization because of having trade with them, and they traded ideas and merchandise. They later started to spread the ideas across the nomad people living in the rest of Europe. Consequently, other people started also to be affected by them and by other civilization, and they started to arise until nowadays. But we are speaking about 2,500 years ago in this place. No one lived in France, no one lived in Spain, not Portugal, not Germany. There were no countries by that name. Okay, but there was here a civilization consisting of some city-states like Athena and also like Troy. But here in Africa, we have civilization called the ancient Egyptian civilization. In that place here, we have the Mesopotamian civilization. We have here the Indus civilization, as we have studied in the first semester. So mention that, Yusuf, we are speaking 2,500 years ago, not nowadays. Okay? So when we say it's a neighboring civilization, yes, Nawaf?
What's the name of this civilization? Minoans or early Greece?
The early Greece civilization, and the people who lived there called Minoans, regarding to one of the kings who ruled them. So while speaking about the civilization in this place, here is one civilization. It's neighboring. Number two, the Egyptian civilization, and number
Sorry,
two.
but your screen is at time 26.
Let me stop sharing and share again. Can you see it now, Nawaf?
Yes, now good time.
Okay. So again, Nawaf, we are speaking about the people here in Greece. Okay. In this place here in Greece, here in this area. Okay. Civilization started to arise in this place here. Number one. Okay. This civilization was affected by that civilization of the ancient Egyptians, and also another civilization of the Mesopotamian. Okay, we're not talking about people here in that place, because by 2,500 years ago, okay, 2,500 years ago, there were no people living here in that place but the nomad people. Yet we are speaking about civilizations that arose in this time. Here we have the Indus civilization, and there we have the Chinese civilization. The first civilization that started to arise in that area or in this place. So the civilization that started to arise here in ancient or early Greece was affected by both the civilization of the ancient Egyptians, and the Mesopotamians. Thousands of years ago, guys, we're speaking. Thousands of years ago. We're not speaking about these days now. So when we say it's a neighboring civilization, we are referring to both the Egyptian and the Mesopotamian civilization. Okay, Yusuf?
Okay.
All right. Can you read?
Yes. A crossroads location. Location affected the early people of Crete. They lived at the crossroads of three continents, Africa, Asia, and Europe. Early on, they engaged in seaborne trade from their island home in the eastern Mediterranean. They crossed the seas to the Nile Valley and Egypt and the Middle East through contact with the older civilizations of Egypt and Mesopotamia. They acquired artistic ideas and technologies, such as metalworking, that they adapted to their own culture.
Okay. The Minoans developed several systems of writing during their long history. So why that? Why do you think that they developed several systems of writing? We have had such a question while studying the Mesopotamian civilization. Why would they develop a system of writing?
To use for their rituals or for trade.
Bravo, very good. As we said, they were based, or the economy was based on trade. So they needed to have a very simple language, which is a written one, to help them in their trade with other civilizations, like the Phoenicians, the carriers of the civilization. They were also traded. Okay, continue, please, Yusuf. Yusuf, the first used hieroglyphs. Yusuf died. Okay, the first used hieroglyphs, although it does not seem related to Egyptian hieroglyphs and has not yet been deciphered. Later, Manoans used two other scripts, each somewhat different. Most writing appeared on seals or discs. All right, an economy based on trade.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Connected me.
No problem. Now, Afil Jilban, you stay with us.
Yes, teacher, I am with you.
Can you read, please? An economy based on trade.
Okay. An economy based on trade, abundant resources, and trade helped many ones build a prosperous economy, unlike the early civilization of Egypt and Mesopotamia. The success of many ones was based on trade, not conquest.
Not
Many ones trade,
conquest. Can you stop here,
not
please? Okay.
yes.
For the Egyptian people, we have, if you can still remember, King Minas. He united both parts of Egypt, right? And started his conquest in order to add more lands to his land. The same thing happened in the Mesopotamian civilization also. The Akkadian, the Assyrians, the Phoenicians, all of them started to have their own conquest in order to obtain more lands. On the other hand, the people in the early Greece, they did not do that. Yet, the success of their civilization was based on trade, not conquest. So the success of the Minoan civilization was based on trade, not conquest. Very important. Continue, please, Nawaf.
Minoans traders set up outposts across the Aegean and beyond. From Crete, they exported timber, food, wine, wool, and many other goods from Egypt and the Middle East. They brought back cargoes of precious stones, copper, ivory, gold, and silver, as well as tin. The nearest tin mines were located in Spain, Britain, or Persia, suggesting that Minoan traders acquired goods that had traveled great distance.
So simply, as we can see here in this land of Greece, they are blessed with the good land for farming. So they started to farm here. Some sort of count with me. We have the food, the wine from grapes, the wool from some animals they kept, and many other goods. And the continent of Africa was blessed by its unique stones. So consequently, once they started trading with them, they brought their crops that they had in their land and took back the precious stones, which they did not have in their place, like copper, ivory, gold, silver, and also tin. All of these was some sort of exchanging between the nations and also the civilization. The nearest 10 mines, they are located in Spain and Britain. So that's Greece here, Spain there, and Britain there. So to know that the early Greece civilization obtained tin in their artworks, it means that this tin traveled many far distance in order to reach them, from Spain all the way to Greece, which is very far. So because we have the tin included in the Greek civilization, and the nearest 10 mines were located in Spain, Britain, or even in Persia, it means that the Minoans traders acquired goods from that have traveled a great distance, or very high distance. What about the palace at Knossos? The palace at Knossos. Let's see. Walid, still with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, can you read, please?
What page is this?
The palace at Knossos.
Okay, the palace at Knossos.
Yes, sir.
How do I say the civilization again? I keep on forgetting. Monian? Oh yeah, Minoan. Okay, Minoan civilization reached its height or greatest success between about 1700 BC and 1400 BC. During this time, Minoan kings built vast palace at Knossos. The palace housed rooms for the royal family, banquet halls, and working areas for artisans. It also included religious shrines, areas dedicated to the honor of gods and goddesses. There, ceremonies and rituals were held to please the gods. Like other early people, the Munians were polytheistic, worshipping gods who were thought to control the forces of nature. Archaeological evidence shows the importance of a snake goddess. Figures show this goddess holding a snake in either hand. Much later, the Greeks associated the snake with the god of healing. Along with other ancient civilizations, the bull held a place of honor in Minoan religious beliefs.
Okay, so have you went into a pharmacy before?
Yeah, there's like the snakes and stuff.
Exactly, and it was brought from this early Greece goddesses. Okay, this goddesses. Okay, she was concerned with that of healing, and the idea of holding a snake in her hand was adapted by the later Greece civilization. This is it's called what? Hera, I believe. This is Hera, right? Maman Saliba. Okay, so if you enter now any pharmacy anywhere in the world, you will find that there is a sample of a snake. The idea of the snake that the early Greek people they worshipped the goddesses. This one was concerned with healing and medicine, and the sample in her hand was the snake. That the other civilization of the Greek people adapted to the same idea, and later on it was passed down to us that we use the venom of a snake to heal some illnesses. And we will stop here today because we don't need to take so much information. So, any questions so far, guys?
No, thank you.
Okay, welcome to have you back, guys. I hope that we enjoy the rest of this semester. Okay,
Teacher,
true to life.
their top god is